All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Storm Team meteorologist Griffin Hardy live here from the CBS 42 Now booth. We are talking about the storms that are now developing over in Mississippi and Louisiana, which are already early this morning. Well, I guess now we're in the afternoon. They've already now produced some tornadoes. That's all along the Mississippi River over towards Fort Polk, Louisiana. We've already had some tornadoes that have been developing, and we've already got some reports of damage that have come in from western Mississippi along the Mississippi River. So we'll start now with a live look over Birmingham. Still very cloudy outside. We have a lot of moisture that's been funneling up from the Gulf of Mexico all morning long. Really no surprises that we have clouds that are pretty thick overhead for the moment. But where we can really tell that today is a severe weather day is over towards Tuscaloosa. Clouds very thick overhead, and the most obvious indicator is the temperatures. We're in mid-December, and it's 75 degrees outside. Many of you already know that when it's that warm outside in central Alabama, it is a classically severe weather day. And another good indicator of that is that south breeze coming in at 14 miles per hour and dew points in the low 60s, some spots already in the mid 60s over in West Alabama. You can feel that fuel in the atmosphere. When it's that humid outside in December, certainly a very easy indicator that we've got the possibility of storms here in Alabama. And here are the temperatures all across the area. Over in East Alabama, haven't really seen a lot of that storm fuel make it into that part of the state yet, as temperatures are a little bit cooler. Now it's 68 in Talladega, 72 in Anniston. We've got 70 in Asheville, 72 in Birmingham right now. But again, all of us are slowly and steadily warming up as those winds continue to prevail out of the south. A little bit breezy outside as well. Wind speeds now anywhere from roughly 10 miles per hour to almost 20 miles per hour as you move closer to West Alabama over towards Hamilton. Got a 17 mile per hour sustained wind right now, and 14 miles per hour over in Tuscaloosa. So that's the latest with the current observations. Last one that we have to show you are the dew points. Again, the higher those dew points are, the more humid air that we have in place, and humid air is less stable than dry air. So you need buoyancy, you need instability in the atmosphere to really have those storms fuel up. And again, a lot of that is making its way over into West Alabama for the moment. So there's all the current observations. This is the current satellite and radar view. We just have a couple light showers that are just now starting to make their way over into parts of Pickens County. No big storms at the moment. We've seen sunshine most of the day. You see a lot of those clouds have been kind of broken up, to say the least. And again, that sun is helping to fuel that possibility of storms later this afternoon. Zooming the picture out a little bit more, there's all the action. There's the cold front happening right now through southern Arkansas, North Mississippi, and Louisiana. That's where a lot of the more significant, potent thunderstorms are for the moment. So it looks like, all in all, what we've been talking about for the past couple of days as far as the timing, that hasn't really changed all that much. If anything, the timing has been maybe pushed back by a couple of hours. So I think now we'll start to see those storms cross the state line into Alabama roughly 4 to 5 o'clock this afternoon. And then they'll continue to push over to the east and finally exit over into Georgia by roughly around midnight tonight. But again, there's been a lot of action already so far. We have had a tornado watch that's been in effect for the past couple of hours over to the southwest, over in West Mississippi and most of Louisiana. Already seeing some active tornado warnings just to the northwest of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings that are in progress all along the I-20 corridor between Shreveport and Jackson. And over in that part of the South is where all the ingredients are really coming together in a more significant way. And that's where the highest risk for severe weather is for today. And as these storms move to the east, it's not like they're not going to be it's not like they're not going to be strong at all, but they'll definitely be not quite as strong as they will be over in Louisiana for right now. But we'll still need to be weather aware for the rest of the afternoon and into the evening. So again, that's where all of those ingredients are really starting to come together, and we're seeing a lot of that significant weather develop. Here's a closer look at the actual radar itself. Really potent storms just now showing up to the southeast of Alexandria, Louisiana, and that's where the more discrete cells are showing up. Where you see those red flashing polygons, those are the tornado warnings. And out ahead of that main line is where we have discrete supercells forming. And those storms, classically, are more capable of producing tornadoes. Farther to the west, where you have that line of storms, that is closer to where the cold front itself is. And those storms also have some tornado potential, but they're not necessarily as higher as those discrete cells that are forming between Alexandria, Baton Rouge, close to Natchez, Mississippi, down to the southwest. that is where the highest tornado potential will be, with those more isolated storms. And it looks like by the time that line actually catches up to, it looks like by the time these storms make it to Alabama, the line will have caught up to those discrete cells. So it's not to say that we won't have any tornado potential tonight, but we will definitely have some potent storms as they make their way over in Alabama. So here's the severe weather outlook. Storm Prediction Center outlining that big confluence of necessary ingredients for storms happening over South Mississippi, Central Mississippi, and the lower Mississippi River Valley. And for Central Alabama, here's what we're thinking. Again, not much has changed since yesterday. That highest risk area is going to be over in West Alabama, over towards Fayette and Tuscaloosa, Demopolis, Greensboro, Columbus, Mississippi. All of you guys are going to get the most potent of the storms due to the timing of it. And as the storms cross over the state line and move into Birmingham, Alabaster, Calera, it's not to say that they won't be severe, but they just won't be quite as potent as they will be over in West Alabama. So again, the majority of us under a level 2 out of 5 risk, and then over in West Alabama, level 3 out of 5 risk, with that enhanced orange risk area over in the western part of the state. So here's the latest model data. This is what we have for our in-house computer model. That south breeze is going to keep funneling moisture up over the next couple of hours. And in the latest forecast guidance that we have, kind of crossing over the state line around 5 to 6 p.m. over towards Hamilton and Fayette. And now it kind of looks like that most of those storms won't make it into Birmingham until roughly 8, 9 o'clock in the evening. And as you see, we don't really have any of those discrete cells that are developing. It's more than likely just going to be a line of storms. Not to say that they won't be powerful. We'll still get some, more than likely, pretty powerful wind gusts when they initially come in the order of 50, 60 miles per hour. That could be enough to knock down trees, knock down power lines, but this is not going to be one of those, oh my gosh, what do we do kind of days. This is going to be one of those days where you definitely need to be weather aware. The big concern, obviously, is if you're out driving. You don't want to be out driving in this. You want to just kind of take your time. Delay driving if possible when the storms are passing through, because they'll be packing a punch, to say the least. Then fast forward a little bit farther until around 11 o'clock in the evening. That's when those storms will start to pass through the eastern part of the state. And you see how the line kind of got broken up a little bit. It won't be nearly as organized after sunset. Once we get to around 10, 11 o'clock in the evening, we'll have a lot of heavy rain, but it's certainly not going to be quite as strong. And then the rain kind of continues after midnight, but once we get to around 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, overall, I think the severe weather threat will basically be done, and then we'll see the rain just kind of hang out. And then we move into Tuesday morning, and that's when the cold front itself finally pushes through, pushes all of that rain over into Georgia, and we're done, basically. So the main time frame, again, just to recap, I think it'll be from 4 p.m. that we'll start to see those storms move in, and then kind of taper off at around midnight late tonight. So that's what we've got. Latest timing, again, hasn't really changed all that much since this time yesterday. So again, another look at the severe weather threat level. Main concern, obviously, is going to be from high winds, those strong straight line winds. We deal with these a lot with these storms in Alabama. They'll be capable briefly of 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts when the storms initially pass through. Then you see the tornado and hail threat there, kind of on they're not as high as the damaging wind threat, but it's there. It's not a non-zero possibility. We could see, of course, some very brief tornadoes that develop, and that main area is going to be over in West Alabama where that's going to be possible. And there's flooding the concern is there, but the storms will be kind of moving too quickly, I think, for us to see any big flooding problems. So again, main thing is going to be damaging winds from these storms as they pass through. And here's the 7-day, if you're curious. Nate was showing this earlier during the noon show. Stay weather aware for the rest of the day. Just be sure to have a way to give warnings, whether that be through our Storm Team Weather app, whether that be through your emergency alerts, or by Twitter, Facebook, any social media platform where all of us are on. We'll be posting those warnings as they come through. And again, staying very cold for the rest of the week beyond these storms. Once the storms move out of here, it is just going to be flat out cold for the rest of the week, especially Wednesday and Thursday. We'll have lows that get down to freezing. And it was kind of funny earlier where we were talking about warming stations later this week that they'll be having out in the public out in downtown Birmingham. They'll have warming stations for people later this week, even though right now we're in the 70s. And that's just how it goes here in Alabama. We have these big drastic weather changes that happen this time of year. And, yep, that's just something we got to deal with. So, again, stay weather aware for the rest of the day today. If you guys have any questions, I'll try to go through the comment section and reply back to any possible questions that you guys might have. But, again, just stay weather aware for the rest of the afternoon and into the evening. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.